So create a sense of belonging. This is from Psychology Today. I just love reading their articles. So if you have time, guys, please do visit Psychology Today. So let's see. A sense of belonging to a greater community improves one's motivation, health, and happiness. And that's why ICPIT is here, diba? I was just thinking, with
Mm.
you, Mike, have you ever kind of like on your face anywhere in the time of, like as a child and then now, do you ever felt that you have this sense of belonging? Like you have to belong to something? How do you explain that for you?
If you're with a group of friends, whether it's outside in your community or here in YouTube on the community here, you got that sense of feeling where you belong. And there's always the case where sometimes where you feel like you don't belong, and that's okay. It's. I mean, for the one thing for me, like I'm never going to try and do things just to impress people, just to be in their, in their room, in their community. They either accept me for me or not. You just have to be yourself. I think, whether that's for real life or YouTube.
In Australia, there's a lot of, how do you call that, immigrants. Do you ever felt the sense of belonging in a way where these people are getting in there? And do you see and do you spot those people even though you don't have the same culture as them?
I mean, you see different cultures every day. It's like the Australian culture's disappearing a little bit. To me, that's irrelevant. Look, as long as people, are just kind, and respectful to each other.
Yeah.
As I always say, you know, country is just a piece of land. We all come from Earth, one planet. That's how people should view it more than country to country. Because you hear so often, oh, this country, if you come to our country or this country, all this type of thing. You just got to be respectful to wherever you go, whether it's home, your own country, or a different country. Everyone's a person. We're all the same. And that's another thing. If you want to be that sense of feeling of belonging, if you're going to judge and be rude and all that type of thing, you're never going to belong um, pretty much anywhere unless it's the community of misfits. As long
Yeah.
as long as as long as you get along well with people, don't judge people. Don't ever make it personal. You can have discussions, of course. Like you do here, and be kind. And be humble. And be humble.
Agree. Instead of saying we are from different country, better to say we live on the same planet. So because we
That's
have
good.
two Australians in the panel right now,
That's right.
and we kind of like, like in the world, what is the strangest stereotype you've ever heard that someone told you?
Hmm.
A few moments later.
Hmm.
You got me
So
there.
do you think that the sense of belonging comes from any kind of like, background? What do you think, or do you ever analyze what's the problem or what's the root why people wanted to fit in? Why people have this sense of, I need to fit in, I need to belong to this.
As one simple answer for that, I see it's human nature. It's human nature.
Yep.
Whether it be animals that run in packs or people. Probably the easiest way to explain it is going through the pandemic when everyone was shut down, locked away, couldn't go to see
Yep.
friends, couldn't socialize. That really struck a bell with everyone. How much people needed that contact with someone else. Not just like on YouTube.
Yep.
I mean, that was probably a godsend that was there for people. Sometimes of where do we belong? And we could be in a good family, could be anywhere, as just things that go through our own mind within ourselves. As much as how good it is around you, sometimes you still feel that. Do you belong? Where do you fit in? What's the meaning of life? All that type of thing.
I do understand that it's human nature and we kind of like need that. And I
Mhm.
feel that a lot of teenagers, when you get to teenagers, high school is kind of like the more or most pivotal point where you have like that strong feeling of you need to fit in somewhere. But the thing is, I feel a lot of people want to fit in so bad that they kind of lose themselves. They become pretentious because that's where they want to fit in. What do you say with those superficial and pretentious people? Do you think that's what they're after for when they try to kind of like portray themselves in a kind of like this image? Is that what they're aiming for?
Well, I did. I had the word there. I had the word there for a moment. Now it just disappeared. But those people that do all that just to try and impress someone else, yeah, they're trying to get. I forget the word. Now I forget the word. Can you believe it?
I always forget that word. It starts with an A.
Well, you said the letter A. I've got a word that I don't think it is, but I could think of a word.
It's like when these people do this stuff on TikTok. They need that. I can't
Attention
It's like YouTube. People need people to come to their live streams. What the heck? Who cares?
But it's like they need other people to say, "Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic! Look at you. That's great. Oh, I love what you're. All that. It's not gratification. It's some other word. Someone said, and it was very, very wise words. If that's what they project to other people, and that's the people that they surround, it's going to be very, very hollow in any relationship if that's what they're after, because it's always about material things, or I've got to get this done and this done, and I've got to get my dog shampooed and tailored every second day, and my nails this.
I wonder if it's one of the things that the reason why Adrian is still single. Are you looking for someone who's not superficial?
It doesn't matter how good you have it, how good things are going, you're still sometimes going to actually feel that within for some reason. It's just down moments we have. But you know what? You will always belong with me.
At a very young, early age, I kind of understand the mechanics of I don't really have to please people. Because if they really like who I am, if they really, really care about my well-being, I don't really have to do anything,
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that I feel very lucky about. And that's what I kind of want to share in my stream is the feeling of whatever you're going to say is fine. But this is the thing. This is the thing with ICFIT. As long as when you're trying to say something, it's not because you want to be right. It's just because you want to share. You want to have a discussion. But if you're coming here and you're going to have a discussion with a person and it's going to be like you wanted to prove right, then that's kind of like for me is a red flag. And I hope you guys watching this, I hope you are smart enough to understand that you don't have to please anyone. Really, you don't. Well, at least yourself. You have to please yourself. That's what I could tell you guys.
But I agree with you. Look, I'm not out there to please anybody. Not absolutely anybody.
Please explain to us the Australian way.
A few moments later.
The Australian way, we're laid back, we're relaxed,
Australian way. I'm age. Simple. I wasn't even ready. Well, the Australian way. We're happy people. We love to joke. We love to just be ourselves in Australia. Yeah, pretty much there, guys. Yeah, that's what Aussies people are. I don't know if Mike wants to say anything more about that or.
Australians are just really very, very chill, Is for one, I feel like it's because you're from when it's summer, it's really hot. I feel like a lot of country that lives in a tropical kind of like hot country, they become so chill. Yeah, be yourself lang ang enjoy. But when they say be yourself, be authentic, what are the things that you think are being exploited with that word? Be yourself. And what do you think the people that trying to be themselves forget most of the time?
Well, most of the time, people forget that some people can forget that they're extremely annoying. putting it bluntly. No, that's putting it bluntly. That's just
I like
the way
that.
But that is just the way that they can behave. Like
next
talking
question.
about,
Am I annoying?
No. I'm just talking about situations. You know, they might
Yeah.
exploit a bit of something like that. You know, like for us Aussies, you know, we'll take the mickey or the piss out of someone. You know, joking about someone. Like I can always say to Adrian, you know, the burger man, he loves all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, you can say it once or twice. But if you continue and you continue and you continue to dig to someone, that's annoying.
Felipe G is saying everyone is annoying to someone out there, no matter how nice they are. Exactly.
And that's one thing too. I see, like here in Australia, people might gossip, but it'll be just around a group of friends. And who cares? Us here, we don't care what someone else thinks. We don't care because we know our own life. Our family knows our own. We don't care about that. But I know in the Philippines, it's a huge thing.
Yes.
This is where I struggle with it, because a lot of people in the Philippines, they act to try and please people around them, not to talk about them, because they're talking about it and they're worried. You just don't worry about that. Live your life yourself.
They get so upset about it, don't they? In the Philippines, I've seen it on here for so long. Like, and I've met Philippines here in Perth as well. Not as much bad compared to the YouTube. It's been much worse. But yeah, it's just like, it's horrible, isn't it?
And this is one of the things that I really, really feel strongly have triggering points about. It's so easy for the outside people to tell Filipinas. Most of the time, it's with women that I've seen. With guys, I feel it's kind of like a different way. But I do really feel that when you grew up in the Philippines, there's already this huge baggage that is put on you, that before you think of anyone else, you have to think of the people around you, especially your family. And no matter what you do, their opinion goes first before you. So most of the time, these Filipinas, especially the ones that actually go outside the country, the one who actually kind of like broaden their mind that there are things that I could do for my life to better my own life. The culture of putting your kids, like if you're a parent, if they have kids, they already, it's almost like they tattooed it in their baby that when you grew up, you have to take care of me. You have to feed me. If you're the person, you have more blessings because you get to go abroad, you get to marry someone outside the Philippines. You have to feed all of us that you left in the Philippines. And that is definitely the one thing that basically opened my mind that this is happening. And it's not just because this is just the base. It's deeper than that. It's the culture. So if you're a parent or if you have a wife that is a Filipina and your Filipina wife is doing this, I feel like you really need to push that boundary because Filipinas doesn't know boundaries. In the Philippines, I feel like they don't know the word boundary. There's no boundaries for them, especially if you're family. And I think that's one of the things that I really need that culture to change.
I agree. You know, if someone gets out there and makes it, they're out there. You know, that's their life. They can go out there and make their life. You know, if that's what they wish to do, you know, it's hard for me to say because this is a different culture. You know, which I don't fully understand. And, you know, I appreciate if that's how, you know, they like to do it. That's okay. That's the way they roll. But you know, from an outsider's, it's hard to understand. Like if you go abroad to try and make something of yourself, and you're only still just hanging in there type of thing, or if you've gone over and you know you've married someone just because they've got a little bit more, it's really hard to put the pressure on the partner to then try and have to pay for the family that's left behind. The discussion has really got to be had that if you're going to get into that situation with a Filipino, that they're aware that this could happen, and then you need to have that discussion before you know you're going to get married or anything like that. So you can go either way. You know, if you're you know earning good money and living well, then it's not so bad to you know send a little bit back and help. But where you're going abroad to work and you know you're sending half of your pay packet back, that's pretty hard because it's not cheap. You know, living outside of you know Philippines, Thailand, all the places which are a little bit cheaper. You know.